Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself, James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself, James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I wanted to touch on something very important. I think most of us have gone through many times in our life. And maybe you're going through it right now. Or you will go through it again soon in the future. And that is rejection. And rejection can take many forms. It can happen with someone you just started dating. Or someone you are married to. Or it could be from a new friend you just started to get to know. Then before you know it, they treat you like you no longer matter and they have no more interest in being your friend. It can happen at work or in your profession. I wanted to touch on this because there is something very important you must know. Because it's normal. Very normal to feel sad. Down. And like, how does this keep on happening to me? But what I want you to know. That old saying is very true. That the rejection you are feeling is likely God's protection. Now this isn't to say that we might have picked up some odd traits growing up in the home with a toxic parent. And this could have rubbed that person the wrong way. But one thing most narcissistic abuse survivors do is they think and rethink certain events. And they are hypercritical of themselves. And the last thing they want to do is make someone feel bad or mistreated. So if you have examined things likely a million times, like many of us have done in the past, or you are grasping at straws for a good argument for this person rejecting you, there's a big chance it wasn't your fault at all. And there's an even bigger chance God loves you so much He didn't want you to deal with this particular person. Because He knows what their true motives are. You see, God can hear and see all. Heck, He created everything. And when someone is speaking bad about you or against you, or they are plotting against you, He sees it. And even though most of us have been rejected since day one of our lives, it seems like we get rejected more once we really learn about what narcissistic abuse is. And my thoughts are, possibly God knows we've learned the lesson of what evil is. And He doesn't want us in that mess anymore. There is no need. You see, my relationship with my ex Susie was terrible. But what I gained from that relationship was I learned what narcissistic abuse was and what happened to me as a child growing up. Because before I started to research what the problem with my ex Susie was all about, I knew I grew up in a home with a chronic manipulator of a mother. But I didn't have words or a name for it. And I thought my mother still could be reached and that she could love me. Well, when I was able to get free from my ex Susie, I realized Susie had no more capacity for love than my mother had. They both were people completely empty of love. It was a tough pill to swallow, but it all made sense. I think also God allows further narcissists to enter our lives and rejection to happen. Because He wants to see, did we really learn our lesson? You see, when we were younger, if someone rejected us, we would try to figure out why they did what they did. And we would likely let them back into our lives. I look back and so many people did me wrong and I kept on hanging out with them. Simply because I had no boundaries and I never had anyone treat me good on a constant basis. There always was some sort of catch. They were good for a little while. Then later on they mistreated me. And I now know this mistreatment was on purpose. As it was meant to degrade me and dehumanize me. And to see if after being put through that, if I would still be their friend. Well, this isn't something I believe God wants us to do. Yes, we should pray for our enemy and those that have done us wrong. But we shouldn't allow them to affect our lives either. And I think it's possible God may want to see if you really learned your lesson. So here we go. You meet someone cool. Things are going well. And then before you know it, they say something cruel to you for no reason. Or they make fun of you in front of others. Or they were once treating you like a best friend. And now they can't be bothered to talk to you or be seen with you. Seemingly out of thin air and out of nowhere this is happening. Poof. Their friendship is gone. Then whenever they see fit, they show back up with their friendship again. And the question is, how are we going to handle it? You see, there is no need to tell this person off, because they would likely get supply from such a thing, knowing that they bothered you. But you remain calm, cool, and make them not an important part of your life, and very politely and rightly walk away from them. You might say, if they say something stupid like that again to you, if that's their thing, you might make a confused face, and say, why would someone say something stupid like that? And put them on the back foot. Don't chuckle and laugh at their mean remark. But by saying to them, why would something like that even cross your mind? Or why would you think of saying such a thing? Puts them in a situation where they will likely have no answers. And the computer in their brain will malfunction. Because you aren't behaving how they thought. They thought you would just give that nervous laugh. Or you would get extremely upset. Either way they get their supply. But instead you act unbothered yet confused at how stupid they are. Is something that will put them on the back foot. Same if someone deemed you a best friend today and demoted you to someone they barely know tomorrow. Only to reach out like you are a bestie again. You can address it the same way. And this you just give them the same energy they gave you. Which is none. Yes, they might be giving high energy today and like you are their best bud. But they dropped you like a hot rock to hang out with all of your friends. But purposely didn't invite you for months. Trust me. This is a blessing you are seeing this. No need to confront them on their behavior. Unless they address it with you. And even then, just look at them and say, I'm confused on how you believe acting that way is being a good friend. Or I'm confused why you would think treating someone like that would be acceptable. You see, these are people you want to be rejected by. You really do. And here's the thing. There are many reasons why they will reject you. It could be simply to see what you will do and if you will chase after them to see why they are behaving the way they are. They want to see how invested you are into them. Which will tell them very quickly how good of supply you will be to them. This is an old test of the narcissist and other toxic people. Be your good friend for a little while. Then treat you like you don't exist. And if they can get you to run after them trying to figure out what happened, or what you might have said or what you might have done, they know they have you. They know they have you. However, if you leave them alone, they will likely know and understand. You aren't good supply. And maybe they might have misjudged the situation. Because they thought you were going to behave a certain way and you didn't. The other reason why you might get rejected is this person quickly realized you had nothing they needed. That could be narcissistic supply. It could be money. It could be clout. It could be a variety of things. You see, narcissists and other people will poke around you and your life to see if you have any benefit they can take for themselves. And if they see no benefit they can get from dealing with you, just as quick as they entered your life, they at the same rate are rejecting you. Seemingly out of the blue. This is why if you can, you shouldn't take it too personally if someone does this to you. Why? Because narcissists are opportunists. Just like the great white shark. They swim around in the shallows hoping to snag a sea lion pup that doesn't know what it's doing. Or they swim really low, to see above and to detect above what is happening. And hopefully it can ambush 2 sea lion pups playing. And maybe it can snag at least one of them. So someone entered your life. Because they were curious and they wanted to snoop around to see if you would either be good supply or you had something they wanted. Let's say for you ladies. If you know how to dress really nice, but not spend a lot of money. And you guys. Let's say you got a few awesome new suits on sale. And they look way more expensive than what you paid for them. So someone new enters your life. Now you think they entered your life because they like you. But they entered your life because they thought you might have money. They can try to use you for. But just as quickly as they entered your life, they figured out really quickly. You have just as much money than they do. You just happen to luck out with some good quality purchases for your clothing items. So just one day randomly, they are no longer taking your calls. They left you high and dry when you were going to meet up for your weekly morning coffee where you socialize and talk with one another. I mean, you thought you were making a good friend. But all they were doing was snooping around and they found out you had nothing they needed. And you or I could come up with a million different scenarios where this could happen. The truth of the matter is, a friend is a friend is a friend. I was thinking about my good friend that I mentioned a while back that passed away. I came across the video by Sam Smith. I know I'm not the only one. And my friend, though she was on the elderly side when she passed away. You could tell when she was in her younger days. She looked just like the beautiful blonde wife of the cheating husband in this video. And sadly, when she was younger, her existence was much like this video. Though we never ever talked about this song or video. I just recall her stories. And when I watched this video many years ago, I thought of my friend right away. And re-seeing this video made me think about how good of a friend she was. When I went to her services, a great many people walked up to me and said, "James." She told everyone she knew that you were her best friend. And every time you called her James, or met up with her for lunch, or coffee, she just lit up. She loved you very much. She never mistreated me. And I never mistreated her. And I feel blessed that I was able to call her friend. And in our own way, family. I know us people that were narcissistically abused oftentimes look for strangers to be family, which can be unhealthy. But this woman earned that title of family. She didn't treat me important one day and then the next I was a nobody. There at times were breaks in between when we spoke. But even then we still made sure one another was okay. I never felt rejected with her and I didn't make her feel rejected either. God knew what was in her heart for me and what was in my heart for her. And He kept us in each other's lives. But guess what? That person that rejected you, God knows what was in their heart. And it was likely nothing good. Please rejoice in the rejection of others. Not everyone is meant to be around you. Not everyone cares about friendship like you do. Not everyone is dating for the right reasons like you are. And if you are a guy, and you think, "Oh, they rejected me because I was kind to them," be happy they rejected you. If they rejected you simply because you were kind and considerate. Not a pushover. Not a people pleaser. But a gentleman. Please know this woman that has rejected you likely has so much unresolved trauma in her life. And if you got into a relationship with her, it would have been a mess. Just think about it. We are in a world where if you are kind to someone, that is grounds for them to be turned off and reject you. And ladies, if you are wanting to take things slow, and the man you are interested in rejects you, he's telling you loud and clear what he was really after. So please rejoice in the rejection of others. As God tells us, be in the world, not of the world. God will place the right people in your life when the time is right. And they won't reject you today. Nor will they reject you tomorrow. Who you are will be good enough. And they will love you for it. Something to know and something to think about and pray about. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.